Hello, welcome to the Greatness Game. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another week, another night. If you don't know me, my name is Dina Patton, and tonight I'm wearing my Girls Change the World t-shirt representing my nonprofit. I am about to set into a greatness game with that for the next 30 days, so I'm breathing and it's a little heavy of what's going on and the big game that we're about to play in our nonprofit to keep the mission going. So I am in my greatness game. Hopefully you are in your greatness game, not just self-care and comfort and loving your family and connecting your family, but also moving yourself forward in these times. So I am gonna be talking about a topic that I think everyone battles with daily, weekly, some more than others, but smallness attacks are those paralyzing where you just feel so suffocated, like you are just stuck. You can't get yourself out. It might be for 5 minutes, it might be for days. So that is such a barrier, obviously, to moving our lives forward, moving our dreams forward. And when you have the tools to get yourself out of a smallness attack, you can get yourself back on track. So tonight we're going to be talking about our smallness attacks. And it is not a ton of fun talking about smallness attacks, but I promise you that if you work on this skill, it will help you get back on track. Because for me, I know that when I'm derailed, when I'm paralyzed in fear, or in one of my smallness stories, it is this training that I can bring myself back and then move the train. We cannot move our trains when we are stuck in smallness, right? So welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me on the Greatness Game. We're going to spend a little bit on smallness attacks tonight. So come on in, grab your glass of wine or your tea. And hello, Tracy. Hello, Jody. I love you both. Mwah. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to give you 3 tips around smallness. And that just, I actually saw 3 posts today around this where people are just stuck. And it's such a relevant topic right now. So the first and foremost tip that I'm going to give you is courage is at the heart of movement, of any kind of winning, of any kind of progress, of any kind of movement. Courage is there. And so, when we are derailed and we're suffocated, we're paralyzed, we're frozen in our smallness, one of the biggest things that's missing in that, obviously, is our courage. So when we can be mindful and say, let me go get, I have this analogy of a courage coat, because I like analogies that I can actually visualize. And so I literally visualize myself putting on my courage coat and having it empower me and giving me, there's a little saying that says, if you had 20 seconds of courage, what would you do? And maybe sometimes it just takes that 20 seconds to make a new decision and get yourself back on track. So for me, I identify, I have no courage right now. I need to get my courage coat on. And so it's just that visual of that courage coat of saying, okay, now with my courage, if I can have 1 minute, 20 seconds to 1 minute in my courage, what's a new decision I would make? And for most people, that can get you out of it if you caught yourself quick enough in your smallness attack. Now, if that's still, obviously that doesn't help everything. But the second part of that is to identify what is going on. Is it overwhelmed? You just are completely paralyzed with so much stuff to do. You're completely overwhelmed, and that can freeze a lot of people. That's different than doubt of the self-doubt that completely suffocates us, right? That's very different than fear. So fear sounds more like, I'm scared I'll never get another job, or I'm scared that no more income is coming in. I'm scared, right? The fear of what could happen, different than doubt, because that doubt of self-doubt, very different than overwhelm. So when you have your courage code on, you can look at, what is this about? What is this about? Is it overwhelm? Is it doubt? Is it fear? Those are the three really big ones. And when you can identify that, you can keep digging. And, there's no magic pill. There's no fairy that's going to come and just magically just get you out of it. This is where our trust in ourselves and our power and our training can come and help us. One of the things in my book that I say is, stop saving yourself, stand for yourself. Stand for yourself. You don't need to save yourself. You need to stand for yourself. And these are those moments where we've got to stand for ourselves, right? So when you look and you see, oh my gosh, this is complete overwhelm, how can you stand for yourself in that moment and go, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to choose 3 little baby steps to get me out of this overwhelm. Right there, that was courage. That was greatness, right? That was standing for yourself. Not saving yourself, standing for yourself, right? That's you taking your power back. So that's just step 1, is getting that mindfulness around what is paralyzing you, what is scaring you, what is derailing you, right? So that is step number 1. Have some courage and then look at that. The second part, or second thing that could help, is asking yourself, there might be a specific someone or a specific something that is stealing your greatness, that is sparking smallness in you. So ask yourself this: who or what is stealing my greatness? Or who or what is triggering my smallness? Either way you ask it. Because when you can identify that person or that specific thing that they said, or a specific thing that happened, it will help you, again, identify. And once we identify, then we can do something about it. When we don't have it identified, we can't do anything about it. It just stays this smallness monster. So I want you to identify it. That question is so powerful. You can write it on a whiteboard, write it, somewhere where you remember it, and you remember, when I get triggered, I can ask myself this. It's so, so important. And then the third piece is this, is what do I have to give up right now? Maybe there is some kind of smallness story or old, disempowering messages that is running your show right now that you could give up. You can identify and give up. So that is, the smallness is not something that we want to deal with, but you want to be equipped with some tools to get yourself out of it when it does paralyze us, when it does derail us. So it's important that your smallness doesn't steal your greatness. It doesn't derail you. You need to be focused and mindful of what's going on right now for your family, for your kids, for your health, for your income. That takes some consciousness and some awareness. And I don't want anybody to be derailed in their smallness, and that those negative, disempowering, derailing, deflating messages that our mind can totally get us, right? So number 1, courage is at the heart of you moving your train. Get that courage code on. Ask yourself, if I had 1 minute of courage right now, how can I get my train back on track? That courage code, and getting yourself some courage to even be mindful and digging, it takes courage. So 2, asking yourself, what is stealing my greatness, and being understanding, being mindful. It's so much mindfulness work, is being mindful of your of what's stealing your greatness. Okay. Oh, there you go. So is it overwhelm? Is it doubt? Is it fear? And keep digging. Have the courage to dig, because the answers are in the digging. You getting yourself out of that hole is because you looked at it and you said, I'm going to solve this. I am brave enough. I am bold enough. I am strong enough to solve this. But without looking at it and identifying it, it just has power over us, and it can really paralyze us. And then letting go of that smallness of that story that you can give up. What do you need to give up? There's something that, I say that many of us fight for our smallness, right? I don't want you to fight for your smallness. I want you to fight for your greatness. So your smallness is all those things, of all those reasons and all that evidence of why you can't go out, and whether it's, get another job. There's a ton of places that are hiring. Get in action. It's temporary, right? So if you've lost your job, don't you live in smallness and go to a dark place. Stay in action, go get another job. It's temporary. It's just a phase. So stay in action. Okay. So, but you have to give up that pride of like, oh, well, this isn't my dream, or this isn't my ideal job. Yeah, but it's just for now. So we have to remember what our priorities are right now. So what do you have to give up right now? It might be pride. It might be, I need to put my dream on hold for 2 months, or my business on hold for 2 months. Or it might be maybe messages that you can't grow your business right now. There's a ton of businesses that are growing right now. So, letting go of that smallness story that you can't be in action. So there's all kinds of things that you can let go of right now. Negative messaging, disempowering messaging that is holding you back. So look at fighting for your greatness. What would your greatness do right now? What would your greatness say right now? And keeping you in action. So that's really important right now, is fight for your greatness. Don't fight for your smallness. There was a workshop that I gave, and I was coaching someone, and it was like they had their smallness and they were fighting me for that smallness. And I won't fight you for your smallness. I want you to let your smallness go. I want you to fight for your greatness. So all those smallness stories, be willing to have the courage to let go. So those are my 3 tips. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Dina Patton, and I'm the owner of Greatness Training and author of The Greatness Game, a book that you can get on Amazon, $10. It is all about mental toughness, leadership, and your greatness games, helping people stay in action, forward, and getting their leadership in the world, their greatness in the world. So these nightly 7 o'clock dates that we have every night is all about you, because your future needs you. Your past doesn't. Your future needs you to show up right now. Your future needs your leadership. Your future needs your courage, right? So helping yourself move forward. So that is all for tonight. The willingness to leave your comfort zone, leaving your smallness stories, and taking little baby steps forward is so powerful, and it is so courageous. So I see you. I get so many messages from these nights together, and so many people are saying, I made a great baby step today, or I made a great breakthrough. So I'm so glad that you're listening, and if it can be a blessing to you, if it can help you, awesome. That's why I'm here. So homework tonight, I always give a challenge or an action step. Homework is this. Ask yourself, what am I willing to give up right now to move myself forward? That is the question of the night. Hopefully you will get a juicy answer from that, because I want to hear that you guys are moving and making progress. So any questions, please post them in the comments. You could write to me personally. A lot of people are doing that in private messaging. I'm blessed to be here with you. And tomorrow night, so I have a special guest actually tomorrow night. She is a licensed couples therapist. So she deals with couples, codependency, marriage issues, all of that. And I know that a lot of people are getting triggered from being around each other so much in this time. So she's going to have some awesome tips for us. I'm super excited to have Crystal on tomorrow night. So 7 o'clock Tuesday, be with us. We're going to get some awesome tips to just love ourselves, love our partners through this crazy time. So join us then. Until then, cheers to your greatness. You guys have a great night. Mwah. Thanks for joining.